Alrighty, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Smudtalk number 37. We're talking about Portal 2, and man, this is like, I think we're doing the entire orange box right now. We're just covering every...
Actually, this is after the orange box. This is 2011.
Yeah, so we're just, whatever's in that kit from Steam, we're just doing all of it, and for good reason. They're standard classic games, they're kind of genre-defining, and they're great. So,
I mean, we've said before that Valve is, in several respects, has been ahead of the game in terms of the games they make. As far back as Half-Life 1.
Yeah, the problem is that they stopped, and we're waiting for them to keep making games, but they don't seem to want to do that for whatever reason.
This was the last one they made until Half-Life Alyx.
And that took like, what, 10 years? 12 years, at least?
9, actually.
Okay.
This was 2011, Half-Life Alyx was 2020.
Okay, fair enough. Man, yeah, it's been a while, and that game was kind of weird to watch people play because you're always going point to point with your 3D interface or your VR interface, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, these games are really cool. They're very well done, and they add a lot of content that or polish rather that would take so long for them to come out.
I'd say Valve's only real dud was Artifact, at least in recent years. Other than that, Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, and the episodes, Portal 1 and 2, TF2, Counter-Strike, it's all been top-notch.
You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer,
and let's not forget Portal 1, especially Portal 2,
good. You will
very clear.
When you hear the buzzer, look down at the floor. Good. This completes
So simple, and yet it's like a lot of the writing in this game still holds up.
There is a framed painting on the wall. Please go stand in front of it. This is art. You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer, stare at the art.
Better than modern.
Do you want to turn the game sound down a bit?
You should now feel
It's louder than our talking.
Sorry.
Yeah, the game's a little bit louder than us.
Should be good there.
If you suspect staring at art has not provided the required intellectual
I
sustenance,
don't know, there's lag on the
honest
screen.
classical
That's
music.
till it catches up.
Good. Now please return to your bed.
Sleep.
Not the boss of me, AI.
Good morning. You have been in suspension for 9999999. This courtesy call is to inform you.
Anyone in there?
Subjects should vacate.
Oh God, you look good. Good actually.
The
Are you
babble
okay?
ball.
Are you? Don't answer that. I'm absolutely sure you're fine. There's plenty of time for you to recover. Just take it slow.
Please prepare for emergency evacuation.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Prepare. It's all the same. Prepare. It's all fine.
It's astonishing how
Don't
much
move. I'm gonna get us out of here. Oh, you might want to hang on. to
emotional
something.
animation there is for his talk animations.
Yeah. In the developer commentaries, they outright say it's like they went out of their way to find a way to have him be that expressive on purpose for the sake of the story they wanted to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
It was part of
storytelling is very tight.
Subjects do
It
experience
clipped.
some cognitive
Yeah, it did.
deterioration after a few
You were saying,
months
Spud?
of
I do recall
Now,
this.
you've been
The first
under
game came out in
for quite a
2007, the
lot
same
longer,
year
and
as
it's not out of
the
the
Mass Effect,
question that you might have a
and
very
they were
minor case
comparing
of serious brain damage. But don't be alarmed, all
the
right?
Geth,
Although if you do feel
their
alarmed, try to hold on to that feeling.
flashlight
That
face
is the proper
to
reaction
these guys.
To Wheatley?
Oh yeah, I can see
to
it.
the personality cores, yeah.
and how they show off
Just tell
their
me, just say yes.
emotions and expressions with the
Okay, all you're doing
eyelids,
there is jumping. You just
so that
jumped.
you
But never mind.
understand,
Say apple.
even though
Apple.
Legion is just a robot, he
Okay,
comes
you know what?
across
That's
as a
close
very
enough. Just hold
human
tight.
because of his facial expressions, if you can call it that.
Safeguards are now
Yeah.
functional. Please prepare
Oh yeah,
for
the
reactor
little
core
flaps on
meltdown.
Legion's head.
Yeah, for reference, this game was, if I'm not mistaken, this game was released in the lead up, one of many games released in the lead up to Mass Effect 3. Because of that 2011 holiday season had a lot of really high profile releases on it, and for as distinguished as the result of Mass Effect 3 ended up being, it's like at least BioWare had some kind of foresight to delay their game to not conflict with anything from the 2011 holiday season.
They wanted to do a Christmas release, but they needed more time. Of course, they needed more time. And
Yes.
they decided on was it March 6th, 2012? So the 3/6/12.
Even with what we got, they needed more time.
Oh God, they needed another year. Yeah, for sure. But you know, they wanted to be cool about it. And say, oh yeah, everything's on the schedule for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Look what happened.
Yeah, this almost has a
Okay, listen, we should get our story straight, alright? If anyone asks,
Uncharted 2 sort of start where you're on the bus, but it's moving for you instead of you climbing through it.
Yeah, and just like with say Half-Life 1 and 2, in any other game, this would be like a cutscene that just gives you the wide shot, the close-up shot. But no, it's like just like with Half-Life, you have full control the whole way through.
Yeah, it's all first person. It's always been that way, and the narrative is all told to you through dialogue or monologue.
And straight up, and just putting you in the moment, putting you in the experience like this.
It's the interactive movie that the self-proclaimed media scientists want so much, but don't want to admit that it's video games.
Yes, we even said something to the effect of that with Half-Life as well. It's like, and that's always a point that's brought up with Half-Life more recently. It's like it's a game from like late 90s, early 2000s was still able to do it better. I'm just like, yes, it was.
Yeah, it's the same concept with Skyrim. You know, you have that intro where you're all just first person telling you what's going on. It's a little different, of course, but the premise is pretty much the same. You're on a little journey, and you're about to die, essentially.
Also, this look familiar to anyone?
Yep, this is the cell from the first game.
This is the test chambers from the first game, yeah. Because of the fact that there was a 4-year gap between 1 and 2, that they were able to take advantage and actually, and you know what? The decision was, you know what? The tutorial of Portal 1, also, hi Chell. The tutorial of Portal 1, the first handful of chambers, was so perfect for showing you the mechanics of Portal as a whole. They just decided for this first quarter of the game to just reuse that, but in a way where it still flows as well as it did the first time.
Don't worry. The odds of this happening twice are very slim.
Aesthetics have clearly changed, but for the most part, this early portion of the game is straight out of Portal 1 with some refinements.
Yeah, except I think there was a bed in the cell in the first game.
Yeah, because remember the first game ends with the facility like imploding from the inside out.
Right.
Yeah. Now this is one of the things they changed. The fact that in the original it was on a timer. Here you control it yourself with buttons. But getting my keys confused. Like they changed it between
It's the use key. Use the use key.
Well, the use key is in a different spot than it is in Half-Life. That's the thing. I gotta get used to that again.
Ah, you scrambled your brain.
Yeah, because it said E. Usually in Source games, E is used, but in this game, E is another zoom button.
Because of the technical difficulties, we are
They have mouse 3, like the mouse wheel for use
Oh, I hate that.
What? When did that happen?
with Portal. Portal's the only one out of the main source main Valve library to
I
do it that way.
definitely did not play it like that, and I don't remember remapping anything. Because I definitely would remap that because the mouse wheel is evil.
Well, not everyone has that functionality on their mouse, and sometimes it's broken. So
Yeah.
That's why I say mouse wheel button is evil.
And this is an extra thing they added. Like the little
Third
intermittent.
King.
The Animal King takeover says here. The King turret.
All these animations, they even put this into their marketing material.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the animations, there's actually 2 while we're going through here.
There
There's
was
2.
We were
There's
mentioning
2.
like the other we were mentioning the other Portal games earlier, but we forgot one. There was the Aperture Desk Job one
Oh, yeah.
for the Steam Deck, I think it was.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I watched somebody play that. It looked pretty good.
Also, of course,
Yep, recap of the first game.
And some extra details as well. Portal gun.
Yeah,
Now this one's a recap of the first game directly.
Who
Final battle.
drew that?
Actually, it's actually another character from the Portal lores. He is called Doug Ratman, aka
oh yeah, Ratman.
the Ratman.
The guy who was in the wall?
Yeah, who was? Yeah, he was.
He's still alive?
At this point, at least in the lead up to Portal 2, he was still alive. I don't know about during these events, but the way they tied it into Portal 1 is like he's the reason why Chill was able to survive all the way up to this point. Because there's a prequel comic that states that he survived the events of Portal 1, and he found a way to, like, when Chell was put back in stasis in like the post-credit scene of Portal 1 that they added in the lead up to this game, Ratman was there. It's like, and he was able to keep her stasis pod working so that she would survive. I don't know about him though, but the secret hero of Portal, yes. And now to go back to the animations, it's like, yeah, they made that part of the marketing. And there's two in particular that came from two specific questions people had with Portal 1. Basic questions, but still they addressed them. One was what was it? One was how is Chell taking the same amount of turret damage as Gordon Freeman, who has full body armor? Which is that they reveal that the turrets have the whole bullet. They fire the whole bullet.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is basically the equivalent of a bruise it gives you. And then the other question was, how is Chell not getting fall damage? Well, it's because of the boots she's wearing.
Yeah, see, that's... it's like a marketing thing where they're trying to sell you to come to Aperture or to whatever. And the comedy... I think they use like a newscaster voice. I can't remember his name.
Cave Johnson.
Cave Johnson. It's this weird guy name.
The founder of Aperture.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
And the comedy is on the same level as what you're watching now. It's the same kind of style. There's no break in like, oh, we're going to do something different for marketing. No, it's just this. It's basically you're watching the game in a YouTube video or whatever they put it on.
It's the in-universe advertisements for Aperture Science.
Yeah, like everything was seamless. So the marketing team was like, we're the developers, which were the designers. If they're doing the same thing, it doesn't matter if it's inside or outside the game. Everything's consistent with the narrative. It's fantastic.
If the enrichment center is currently
there's two I did want to bring up. I already brought one, which is the turrets thing with they fire the whole bullet. The other one was the boots.
Can you explain that to non-Americans?
In layman's terms, the long fall boots are the reason why you don't take fall damage in Portal.
No, the bullets.
The bullets. Well, the bullets, it's literally, the bullets are literally like jammed, like
they're dumped in the turret.
They're mega dumped into the turrets.
Yeah,
they're just cramped in there.
And there's no shell.
The turrets are like 90% ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fire literally the whole bullet.
There's no casing. The brass never gets expelled.
How does that lead to Chell not taking damage?
No idea.
She just does, or doesn't.
Yeah, I was just asking about the logic there, because you said it's because they fired a whole bullet, but how does that change that?
Yeah.
More like in the sense of like, hey, you asked the question, I gave you an answer.
Yeah, exactly. Like the logic doesn't have to fit. It's just like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, that's the answer. We gave it to you. Shut up and
You
answer.
asked, I answered.
Give you an answer. Stop asking questions.
2 + 2 is 5. What do you mean? No, it's not. Yeah, no, that's the answer. I was like, what?
It's an answer I would expect from Cave Johnson.
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing voice actor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, him and Wheatley, which was Stephen Merchant. He's just playing himself.
Yeah,
That's
I love that some of the best and longest bits of Cave Johnson are hidden in the game.
Yeah.
You have to go out of your way to find them.
And not just the big Cave Johnson bits, but also to bring up Half-Life 2 again. It's like if anyone recalls, it's like they actually straight up name drop Aperture in episode 2 to establish like the whole thing with the Borealis. Yeah, Portal 2 connects back to that by actually in like a secret corner of one of the later
chambers. The area.
You can find the dry dock of the Aurora Borealis in there.
Yep. Pretty cool.
It was a nice those nice little details to tie at least Half-Life and Portal together.
Oh,
No,
Ramirez says, because the whole bullet goes at the lowest speed.
Exactly.
Still a bullet.
It's still you're using more
At a
mass.
relatively high speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
with
ultimately
a pointy bit at the thing that aims at you.
And it's ultimately to reconcile the fact that when Portal 1 was in development, it was just part of the stuff they used was just one massive excuse to reuse Half-Life 2 resources, so that development goes more smoothly for the first game. Because for context, it's like Portal was made by, and I went the wrong way. Portal was made by graduates of, I believe it was the DigiPen Institute of Technology. Like the original demo that they had was called Narbacular Drop. And I think Robin Walker was there, and he saw the Narbacular Drop demo, and he gave them his contact info that they could go to Valve and show off the prototype. And within 15 minutes of the presentation, Gabe Newell just stood up. It's like, I want to hire you to make this game in the Source Engine. Like 15 minutes into the presentation, he was that impressed.
Wow.
That a group of students fresh off of their studies, fresh off of graduating, were able to impress Gabe Newell. Gaben that quickly with a game this simple, ultimately. And the only issue they really had with bringing their game to Source Engine to have it end up becoming Portal, the only issue was really the portals, where they had to build them from scratch. But other than that, they had everything else at their disposal.
People with brain damage are the real heroes in the end, aren't they? At the end of the day, brave. Okay, listen.
Smart, you have a super chat.
Lay something on you here.
Oh, thank you very much. The Dark Surf, how's it going, buddy? They're not firing the bullet itself. Okay, I don't remember that. It's a piston that shoots the whole cartridge, so it's basically a big BB.
Oh, so it doesn't ignite the gunpowder, it just throws the bullet at you?
The whole bullet. It doesn't eject the thing from the cartridge. It's the whole thing.
So it just throws the bullet at you instead of shooting it.
1, 2, 3. That's high. That's too high, isn't it? Really, that. All right,
The writing in this game still holds up. Between Portal 1 and this,
okay, ready?
to this day, it doesn't really get old. Yeah, you
it's
literally,
timeless.
you literally can't catch him. It's scripted like that. Now you can catch him.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Plug me into that stick on the wall over there, yeah, and I'll show you something. You'll be impressed by this. Yeah, I can't.
Timeless wonder.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm not joking.
Portal on its own is a testament to how high quality Valve's writing still is.
All right, you can turn around now. Bam! Secret panel. Not open. While your back was turned, and off we go. Look at this. No rail to tell us where to go. Oh, this is brilliant. We can go wherever we want.
Finally, you're backstage.
Hang on, let me just.
Yeah, as opposed to a bit of an inversion from Portal 1, where you wait until not until the end of the game where you go backstage. Here, it's from the very start, because because you're pretty much you already know what you're getting yourself into. Well, this time with Wheatley by your side.
Yeah, he
and again
to the game a lot.
Yeah. Between Wheatley, the returning GLaDOS and Cave Johnson, it's so good.
Yeah, but in Portal 1, it's not planned that you get out. At least it's not consciously planned. And here it is the point to get you backstage.
Well, that's the inversion, yes.
Yeah.
She's off. Don't panic over. She's off.
And then GLaDOS stuffing you back in.
What a nasty piece of work she was.
Yeah, the whole thing of again, which is if I remember correctly, because in the lead up to this game, they updated the first game with a little extra scene of Chell getting pulled back into the facility to reconcile.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember when I first played Portal, the game would just end and they said, "Oh yeah, you were supposed to be pulled back." I was like, I don't remember that.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, that wasn't the original intention, but it's nice that they did go back to reconcile that inconsistency.
This is the main breaker room. Let's go in. Look for the switch.
This room is beautiful.
This giant room.
Don't touch anything else.
All the breakers of the facility right here, and if you notice, the borders of this platform here. Oh gee, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Look at something else. Look at the next thing, all right? But don't touch anything else or look at anything. Well, look at other things, but don't. You understand?
Why
have
would
to
you
look at everything
build it like that?
I can't see
I don't know. Ask Cave
That was
Johnson.
Aperture.
Because Aperture is like, and that's something that even Half-Life and a little bit of in TF2, like they poke fun at the fact that Aperture is really damn. It is the most eccentric company in all of fiction ever. Because ultimately, with the portal gun, I think it's supplementary material. Originally, like it reveals that Cave Johnson just created something like the portal gun just to get you through shower curtains without getting wet. And he inadvertently ended up making a technology so far advanced for its time that that's the reason why the Combine want the Borealis in Half-Life.
Okay.
Like, they ended up the Borealis on its own ended up being the most advanced, like, Leviathan of technology for its time. So advanced that that's the reason why it just straight up popped out of existence from the dry dock. It's like, it was so untested, so unstable, all the technology that was on that ship. And that's pretty much the reason why the Combine invade Earth, just to find the Borealis.
It's been a long time.
Because Cave Johnson wanted to do stuff with shower curtains.
Yeah, well, the Borealis in and of itself.
That's what they made, like, initially. It was like, I think, if I remember correctly, they made shower curtains for, like, the military or something like that.
Well, he was just a humble shower curtain salesman.
Okay, look, we both said a lot of things that you're going to regret.
And the Borealis in and of itself, within Half-Life, it's revealed that that was Aperture's bid to get government funding over Black Mesa. But Black Mesa ended up winning out.
Yeah.
Because of the
that's mentioned. It's mentioned in the game,
yeah. They say it straight up in episode 2 just to like reconcile the lore between the two games.
Oh, it's mentioned in Portal 2.
It's mentioned, yeah, both here and in Half-Life 2 episode 2, yeah. That's the connection between them, and I do love that little like lore, that extra lore building that Portal 2 really didn't have to do, but it's well appreciated.
Some of those parts look like they should just crush your arms. And I'm not talking about the crushers, just the extensions
Long
on
fall.
the side of the chute.
Here we are.
Yeah, agreed.
Be careful not to trip over any parts of me that didn't get completely burned when you.
Chell is a very robust woman.
The dual
Oh, yes.
device should be around here somewhere. Once you find it, we can start testing, just like
I always loved how GLaDOS came up with those, like, backhanded compliments to you. Be sure not to trip over any parts of me that you destroyed.
There it is.
Good. You have the dual portal
They give you, I
device.
believe they give you the double portal earlier than the first game as well,
Testing starts.
just for the sake of getting a move on.
Call to keep interaction
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in holding that back when you have new game mechanics later on.
Exactly, which the new game mechanics later on are based off of another student project. I forget, like, the exact people that made it, but it was just like with their bacular drop for Portal 1, it was the link for Portal 2 was Tag the Power of Paint, and that's where the paints came from.
The last 2 minutes of my life are preserved.
Well, at least the first two. The third one was made exclusively for Portal 2, but the first one, which was jumping and running fast, that was originally from Tag.
What was the reason that they disconnected the old facility with the paints just because it's super cancerous?
At least, I don't know about the first two. The third one, the portal gel, was cancerous.
Oh, yeah, the gel.
The process that it took to make that last gel, because they literally ground
Ground up moon rocks.
That which the entire facility is covered in?
ultimately, yeah, but the implications that the actual portal walls from Portal 1 and these from Portal 2, that is just, they've refined it to such a point where they took that element of the moon rocks out eventually. But by the time Cave Johnson was when Cave Johnson was initially exposed to the ground up moon rocks, it's like, yeah, it got him quick. Like, it's like it.
Oh, so the old stuff at the bottom, that gives you super cancer.
Yeah, that's the early experiments with the gels, and the only reason why they're up here later on in the game is because Chell brings them up here to be able to like deal with Wheatley's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that they built these giant connectors then when they wanted to abandon this stuff. I really like this transition from below to the modern facility.
I forgot how good you are at this.
You get through this giant safe room.
We
Yeah.
have a lot of tests to do.
And I do also like the transition from the orbs from the first game to the lasers here, and that's not only like a gameplay thing. That's also like, obviously, GLaDOS was very clearly able to get control of the facility again rather quick because obviously she was designed for it. But also just to change things up for the sake of getting new testing results.
Before you had your, well, episode. So now we'll both get to see how they work. There should be one in the corner.
Okay.
I like these cubes.
Ah. No, I'm the one that's getting topsy-turvy from this shit.
Have you ever played the VR version?
Oh,
VR
hell
game?
no. No, I don't, nor do
That
I
is-
want to. I can only imagine.
That is bloody amazing. And it's completely different puzzles.
Here come the
I'd say they're
test
simpler
ones.
puzzles for the most part.
You are a horrible
Um,
person. That's what it
And
says.
the movement is of course changed so that you can operate in this little thing. You can walk around a bit, but mainly it's this teleportation movement that you can do.
But the transition between maps, right?
If it makes you feel
No,
any better,
where you point your
science has now
cursor
validated
is
your
where you
birth
teleport to.
mother's decision
And then you stand at that
to
spot.
anyone.
So that's then where you are centered. Like when you play this when you play the VR game, and many VR games at the time were like that. I don't know what they're like now because I don't have access to any of that stuff. Like you set up, if you can set up a 2x3 or 3x3 meters spot in your living room, assuming you have a very big living room. You then you designate that as your virtual cage, so that in game it will, if you get too close to the edges, it will show you a holographic wall that will just tell you, hey, if don't move further or you will run into your cupboard or into your TV. So stay within the hologram. And but since that is way too little in order to move around in a level like this, for example, what you do with your two controllers, like with one you use your standard, like the portal gun. You use the portal gun. With the other one, you point somewhere, and that's then where you short range teleport to. So you can basically you could move by just quickly teleporting yourself forward.
Okay, yeah.
And that, of course, asks for different problems. Other problems don't exist. And, for example, jumping doesn't really make sense. Jumping puzzles, platforming puzzles, they don't really make sense. So it's all just about the logic puzzles. And yeah, the great thing is that, of course, you can then crouch by just crouching in order to hide behind a barrier so you don't get hit by the bloody turrets. And that is really fun. And the story they play for the VR games is a different one. And it starts as a fire drill in Aperture, where you're in a server room and then suddenly everything catches fire, which is absolutely great. Because you're in this little room and everything starts burning.
You don't have to go that slowly.
It's great. It's great. So if you're claustrophobic or have a fear of fire, it's I don't recommend it. Otherwise, yeah, do. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I always felt that GLaDOS was like, what was that System Shock doing?
Oh, Shodan?
Shodan, yeah, like a goofier version of Shodan, just because of the AI wanting to always play with you and tease you about. But obviously, the world of Portal 2 is a bit experimental. You're trapped in a maze sort of deal, whereas System Shock 2 is more like you're trapped in a horror movie.
Good luck.
I do also want to point out is like even this early in Portal 2, you notice that in that last elevator before we went down, and right there too, the turrets and cubes going through the tubes. It's like they're the same. They're one and the same. They make it apparent as early as this in the previous chamber. The same tubes for the elevators are the same ones that carry the cubes and the turrets around.
Nice.
That's how disorganized the facility is at this point.
No, it's hyper efficient.
Well,
You
there's supplementing.
misunderstand.
Well,
You can
That's
just use look. It's just using one system of travel for everything. That is amazing.
True.
That's logistics.
True, but the ultimate irony is that the supplementary material confirming that that's not how it was meant to be designed. That's like the irony of it.
But I liked it through this, like the last level and this now. You see it more actively. That GLaDOS has taken control back of the facility, and you are witnessing and seeing the changes as she is cleaning up the place.
Yes.
Yep.
So as you can see, as you progress, everything becomes more this organized prison that there is no escape from again. Because if there's holes in the walls and everything, we can get out maybe, but if that isn't the case,
I want to catch one thing in particular, see if I can get it. What?
Oh,
there! This one, the radio.
Oh, it's the radios, yeah.
Yeah. Because I want to show off one thing in particular, and this was a bit of a mystery when it originally happened, but they ended up decoding it. Let me just see if I can. Yeah, right there. There's a secret ratman den here that also involves taking the radio into it. Right portals, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That transmission signal. That's actually one of those old, like, NASA-style, like, transmissions that goes from sound to image.
Sweet. What's it decode into?
The message, the image that tone decodes into is actually a bit of a distorted image of, I believe, the companion cube on the moon. That's meant to be like a very early foreshadowing for the ending of the game.
Oh,
Nice.
This early in the game, they managed to sneak foreshadowing in that specific way, and that's one of the major Easter eggs of this game.
That's not how you do foreshadowing, but okay. Because if you stop the game here in order to start decoding that message, you're a very strange person. But you probably have my respect. Boing. Boing. Bomb.
Remember before when I was talking about smelly garbage standing around being useless? That was a metaphor. I was actually talking about you. And I'm sorry. You didn't react at the time.
I just
was worried it sailed right over your
She's the best snarky sarcasm of any character ever.
That was a
I
metaphor.
apologize.
She's
Give me
great.
one quick moment. I'll be right back. I do apologize.
All right.
All right.
Metaphors.
Now we just all hum the Portal radio music.
Yeah, in my head.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da.
Why does that sound like the Super Mario Brothers?
Smart, how was your first Portal experience?
I was okay. I didn't mind. I like puzzle games, but it didn't really jive with me.
Smart?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Press the wrong button.
How was your first Portal experience?
That was back in 2007. So I was playing Xbox. I was playing Mass Effect on Xbox, and Portal was on PC. So I enjoyed it. It was it wasn't like a revelation. I was like, oh, this is a really well done puzzle game. And I never really got into it that much aside from a weekend. And I was like, this is fun. But there's nothing, I wasn't like turned off by it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was simple. I thought, yeah, if I'm bored or if I'm not reading any books at the time or, not going out, then I was like, yes, this is cool. So it was a fun, cool sort of, hey, they should make more of these sort of deal because it seems so simple, right? And I wasn't expecting them to do like all this other stuff with like narration and characters and as big as it became, because like with Valve, even back when I was in school, Valve was always kind of its own thing, and you never sort of knew what they were doing. And then Unreal came out, so I was focusing more on Unreal even after that. And then Mass Effect was in the Unreal Engine, so I was like, oh, Unreal is the way to go. So anything with the Source Engine, I was sort of like, I was always skeptical with, involving as well as the Orange Box. I never got into like TF2 and all those things, but Portal was there. Like, so that the first one was like, okay, cool, that's good. And Half-Life 2, of course, was the big thing back in school, and that was sort of like the benchmark. So when I saw Portal 1, I was like, oh, that's cool, but it doesn't really like do as much as Half-Life 2 did. So it was kind of not a letdown, but it's like, okay, it's fun, it's simple, people can like it, and it felt like an art project almost.
Which would have made this apology seem insane. That's why I had to call you garbage a second time just now.
Oh, sorry. And when you got into Portal 2, what was that like?
That was cool. That was like,
Guilty consciences
like
are more
they
easily
amped up the
solved by
storytelling, they amped up the
I'm
narrative.
sorry. I don't
Like
know
all
why
of,
that
as you can
was
see,
wrong.
as you go through,
Anyway,
it's all
just an
custom.
interesting science fact.
It all feels like this is for a custom experience. So
Oh, did I accidentally fizzle that before you could complete the test? I'm sorry. Go ahead and grab another one.
clunk.
And everything is moving in
I
this
fizzled
game.
that one too. Oh well, we have warehouses full of the things. Absolutely worthless.
That's what I love about it. You go into a room and somehow everything is moving. That was Wheatley peeking in.
Yeah, it's like it's for the fact that there's several times in these early test chambers where it's like pops in, hey, I'm still around.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to be caught by GLaDOS.
Yeah, that's the point.
I like when you're using the bouncy plates, and he's like up in the ceiling, and he's like talking to you, and like you keep like bouncing in and out of the conversation.
Yeah,
he just keeps talking like you're still there.
I think that's the next one.
Yeah.
The next one and the next one after that, but that's soon.
Yeah, it's great how they keep his damage when he got broken. That was really clever. They're trying to talk to you, but his face is falling off.
With an emancipation grill at its exit, so that test subjects cannot smuggle test objects out of the test area. This one is broken. Don't take anything with you.
Why? Don't take anything? I wonder.
I only felt let down by the boss fight at the end.
Yeah.
Oh,
fair enough.
with Wheatley.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the GLaDOS one is ultra simple as well, but it feels sort of natural, kinda. The Wheatley thing is just pure video game phases stuff.
I can see that. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm late. Sorry, I'm late.
You haven't missed much.
Forgot I was the one cooking. I was, as you saw a minute ago, I was tuning in.
Don't worry.
Oh, and to your point, Wisp, when you were saying earlier that as GLaDOS is cleaning up the facility, if you notice the loading screen, it's becoming. It started off dirty. The Aperture logo started off dirty, and then becomes more and more clean as you progress through the levels.
Yeah,
it has.
That's a pretty neat little detail, you know.
Yeah, it's catching up.
The LEDs are not at all at the same brightness as well.
You slow that down, and she actually is describing Moby Dick.
That's hilarious.
Questions, just remember what I said in slow motion. Test on your own recognizance. I'll be right back.
I made some beef lo mein for dinner.
Oh yeah, like the animation for the Emancipation grills. It's like that's funny in and of itself. It's supposed to be the Emancipation grid, but for a lot of people, are also stuck to name it as the Emancipation grill. So it's just interchangeable at this point.
Yeah, I know there's an achievement for I think this chapter right here with the companion cube.
Yeah, I already got it. That was the last map.
Okay.
Also, apparently, a bit of.
Wasn't there something hidden here beneath these things? Was that another spot?
Probably later. I can't exactly recall.
Hi.
Hi, Wheatley.
The aerial faceplate in here is sending a distress signal. You broke it, didn't you? There. Try it now.
What happened, right? I was just lying there. You thought
There is a full conversation. It's just a matter of like you have to stay on the faceplate for it to continue, as if it's going on normally.
Yep.
Like Bad Boy Beta said.
Yep. He just keeps talking.
Try it now.
bird, right? Couldn't believe it either.
Look, I wonder what the in between of those are.
God.
It's probably in the files at some point. It's probably
They give him like a whole script,
It's probably in the
you know,
files
for
somewhere.
that
Most likely.
scene.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
remember-
Because he mentions, like, that's a bit of foreshadowing. He mentions a bird, and GLaDOS ends up being terrified of birds later.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
for good reason.
Yeah.
Birds! 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 Kill it! Okay, attack, panic attack is done. Going back to contemplating.
That's
Oh,
the
I
one.
like later on when she's the potato and she's like, she's got the slow clap thing in there, and she's like, "Oh, good, it made it in here."
Oh, good. My solitary slow clap processor made it into this.
Also,
Yep, that's it.
also the thing of all aperture technology can run on at least 1.1 volts. Was it?
In other words,
so?
any
That was the
Source
amount?
Engine Valve game can run on a potato.
That I guess I'm pretty sure that is the joke. Yes. Yeah, because even by the standards of 2007, Source Engine took next to nothing to run.
Yeah, it can run on a potato.
Yeah, and most of the games Valve is known for today, most of them run on the same Source Engine. Different revisions, but still, it's ultimately all the same engine, and that's an impressive feat in and of itself.
Skyrim would wish to be that portable.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if only Bethesda could pull that off.
I mean, the only
No,
reason
they don't. They wish they could.
That's
Well,
what I'm saying.
We just
Well,
make
the-
memes about it as if they did.
the only reason
It
why
just works.
the only reason why Source can't pull off anything open world like Skyrim or something to that scale is specifically because that traces all the way back to when the old Gold Source engine was directly based off the Quake engine.
I'm going to go to
So it's like, and it has to do with like the whole thing where it has, it can only it can only load.
So
It can only
much at a
load.
time.
It can only load so much at a time, like different maps. That's why Valve games are segmented across maps.
And that's why games, it's most noticeable in Half-Life and Black Mesa loading. Just randomly.
Well, just in Half-Life in general, even Half-Life 2 in the episodes have it that way as well. It's just that they were able to pack in a lot more in Half-Life 2 in the episodes. Oh, I gotta...
Like, I could gripe about that, but it's like, Half-Life is...
I went down, but...
Jesus Christ, how old is Half-Life at this point? 25 years old at this point?
Yeah, this year's the 25th anniversary of Half-Life.
I really hope that... Actually, I swear to God, if I hear Black Mesa, Half-Life, whatever, going to Switch and consoles, I'm going to be a little pissed off.
I mean, it's ultimately...
I'm gonna be happy about it, don't get me wrong, but it's like...
I mean, you already have them on PC, and with Valve, ultimately, PC is the best experience, hands down. That's just the golden rule. Golden rule, gold source.
Yeah, but if you're gonna play the original Source Half-Life, the best way to play Source Half-Life is the PlayStation 2 port.
Well, ultimately, the story with Half-Life Source is that it was meant to be. It was very specifically meant to be like a direct upgrade of the old Gold Source Half-Life 1, but it's just literally a direct port. It's literally the exact same game. That was the issue for a lot of people at the time, and that's literally the entire reason why Black Mesa exists.
Right.
Because Black Mesa goes off of that initial promise of being a direct upgrade based on Half-Life 2.
Right, and it definitely is. I'm just saying that if you're going to play Source Half-Life for whatever depraved reason, get the PS2 port.
Yeah. Yeah.
If your PS2 still works, or I guess you could emulate it, but
I mean,
at that
come
point,
on. I mean, come on.
At that point, just get freaking Black Mesa.
Exactly, but I'm just like, the PS2 is the highest selling console of all time. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people dedicated enough to upkeep it.
But with you here, I've got more test subjects.
That is not a question.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Well, then again, there's those handful of channels that their content is about like restoration of electronics.
Yeah. That's kind of cool in itself.
Yeah.
These bridges are made from natural light that I pump in from the surface. If you rubbed your cheek on one, it would be like standing outside with the sun shining on your face. It would also set your hair on fire, so don't actually do it.
You'd want me to do it, don't you?
Wait, if you always have to do it the opposite of what GLaDOS says, does that mean you should actually do it?
Oh, I forgot the. I don't know. Ah, kick you! Oh boy.
Nice save.
Yeah. Like, to this day, I can still appreciate Portal 2. It's like, obviously, the first playthrough, you're gonna end up thinking a little, but that's like, that can easily be recaptured by not playing the game in a long time, and it actually makes you think again about
That's gonna be my play process when I play through the game again. I have not played that game in a while.
Oh, and also with this game, it's like this was the first time since what was it, Half-Life Decay, where there's a Valve game with official multiplayer. And Half-Life Decay in and of itself was one of the 3 Gearbox expansions for Half-Life 1. It wasn't even Valve.
Do you know who else murders people who are?
Which, speaking of, was like, I can still appreciate that Gearbox went out of the way to stick as true to the story of Half-Life 1 as humanly possible. Like, they always made an attempt to make those expansions as lore friendly as they could in connection to Half-Life 1.
Yeah.
Which the day that all 3 of those expansions get the Black Mesa treatment, I'm in. I'm just in. Especially Decay.
I mean, if Valve greenlit Black Mesa, I don't see why they wouldn't greenlight the others.
I mean, I think there is at least one fan group that's going to remake at least Opposing Force and Blue Shift. I think it's Operation Black Mesa. But it's a different group compared to Crowbar Collective for the main game.
Yeah. Be cool if they teamed up with each other to do it.
Hopefully.
You know what really adds to the insanity of this facility? That in corridors like this, you get to realize that all the walls are not just... Oh, God. The damn bird. That all the walls are not just walls, but there are all these insane levers, moving platforms everywhere, everything.
Yeah, it's very intricate still.
I went and spoke with
It's insane to build this.
Well, Cave Johnson,
the money.
Cave Johnson, as we find out in the later portions of the game, was quite crazy in and of himself. So
the money to dump into this.
I remember he tricked multiverse versions of Aperture into funding this project.
Yeah, that was the big promo video for specifically basically the Portal equivalent of Snap Map. Essentially, it's like you make your own test chambers, which on its own was a pretty good idea. Since Portal on its own is like, it's simple, but ultimately the foundation is so malleable that you can make literally anything, like including I think, yeah, Ramirez pointed out early in the chat that there's also Portal Reloaded, which introduces a time travel mechanic, which is crazy because it gives you another dimension to operate on. And he goes on to explain it. It works like there's a green portal between the past and the future, and basically whatever you do in the past happens in the future. So, e.g., if you leave a box laying on the ground in the past, it's still there in the future. While at the same time, if you move it in the future, it doesn't change the one in the past because the laws of time travel.
Mm-hmm.
The basic rule. No, it's just the basic rule. You do something in the past, it changes in the future. That's it.
I know, but things like that would get extremely confusing really fast.
There are people who can play. What was that called? The super multi-dimensional time travel chess.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like you are either a certified genius or a sociopath.
No,
both.
No, sociopath is the wrong word.
I guess
something else.
I guess psychopath.
No,
not even
what
that.
The hell, no. A psychopath is someone without a conscience.
Well, to be that smart, you can't have a conscience.
What?
I'm trying to make snide humor, and I'm
no. That is not.
here.
Then you are incapable of donating sarcasm.
Yeah, I need to be better about that.
Yeah. Be better.
Oh God.
You know I'm joking.
No,
at least.
you probably meant to be properly insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be completely well, psychopaths are insane. You have to be completely fucking insane.
Psychopaths are not. No. Look here. This is the big misconception. Psychopaths are actually not insane. They are hyper rational, but they have no conscience that holds them back. That doesn't mean that all their decisions are good, but it's with the internal logic, they're highly rational. So the definition of insanity is to be irrational.
Exactly.
So a psychopath can be insane, but it's not it's not inherent to it.
So I guess you could have an insane psychopath, but generally a psychopath is just hyper rational.
Yeah, it's not. I guess it's the causation. It's correlation, not causation.
But you're going to be dead.
Yeah, I think you just completely misunderstand the
I've
terms.
been working on a belated birthday present for you. Well, more
So it's
of a
not,
belated birthday medical procedure. Well,
It's
technically,
difficult.
it's a medical experiment.
Trying to think of it right now.
What's important?
The point is,
They're not inherent to each other. They can cross, but it's not inherent.
yeah. Look, the point is, yes, Cave Johnson was insane enough to build it's not just one facility, but like a facility for every decade since the '60s.
That's not me talking. It's
All the way at the bottom of a damn salt mine.
Oh my God! The panel what they were showing on the screen a second ago with the portals.
Oh, over here. Oh, too late.
Yeah, back in there, it was the portal promo.
Oh.
So how long does Chell have to live after she got gooped in the cancer goop?
We honestly,
Good question.
Yeah, good question. But ultimately, that's just for like a lore bit. It's like it doesn't affect gameplay. When I'm just like, whatever.
And look, it's the lore. It's important.
Oh, the 4 turrets.
Oh, here it is.
I managed to find 2 with your left.
Just
Bullets.
dump it in. Dump it into. Look at it. That fires the whole thing.
It fires the whole thing. It doesn't ignite
Oh, yeah,
the powder, so it's just a
pushes them
piston.
out.
It's
Yeah.
basically just a glorified BB gun.
Yeah.
They just throw bullets at you instead of shooting them. Okay, yeah, good.
Literally throw the bullets at you. And that's part of the. It's like I said this briefly before we started.
I
Oh
love
no!
how they show they're showing the promos on there. What idiot designed that one?
I think here they show all of them, like at least the colors.
And the
Yeah.
one with the weird sunrise pattern. I think you can find that somewhere in Portal 2.
I think. They show it. This
might
one right
be-
here. That one right there.
Yeah, that one right there. It might be tucked in the back during the ending of ending
In the ending
turret
opera.
opera.
Like the ending, yeah. There's also another Easter egg here. I'll show off briefly. Obviously, also showing here that there you go.
Yeah. Oh.
Laser plus turret equals boom.
Those poor turrets.
I always found the turrets to be kind of cute. I'm like, are you still there?
It's the voice. Yeah, it's the
It's
voice.
the voice, which is also Ellen McLean. It's Ellen McLean for both the turrets and the turret for both the turrets and GLaDOS.
Like she can be
It does sound
soft
similar.
and sweet and heartless, cold, callous, passive aggressive.
Oh, interesting.
These turrets are practicing for
Oh my god!
They're practicing for the song if in the ending.
Nice.
That's another achievement in and of itself, and this I think technically is also another Ratman den, right here. Yeah, there it is. Look.
Yeah. Some food and water and
Food and water.
the reality. I think that's what it said.
Something like that. Yeah.
No. It said something about morality.
Unmorality, I think.
Unmorality.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's those things that. Yeah, again, just like in Half-Life, it's up to you whether to engage with it or to just leave it be.
Yeah.
And it all ties in somehow.
I would like to see a Portal game, even if it's just like a spin-off that revolves around the Ratman.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's all as likely as one would think, because first of all, we already have the two prequel comics, both of them, one for Portal 1 and one for Portal 2, that both like detail Ratman's involvement in the series. Maybe just adapt that into like some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of like point and click or something. I don't know.
I mean, this game basically already is a point and click, if you think about it.
I mean,
Kinda.
It says this next test was designed.
I mean,
I'll be back in a second. Keep going.
Okay. I'm just like at that point, it would kind of would it just be semantics at that point, or? I mean, oh.
I bet you think I forgot about your surprise. I didn't. In fact, we're headed to your surprise right now. After all these years, I'm getting choked up just thinking about it.
Yes, we get it. You have a vendetta after the last game. Just get it over with.
I can't remember. Was it this game or the first game where she leads you into the dark room and then she turns it on? There's nothing in there, and then she you hear like the birthday horns, and it's like surprise, and then she throws confetti at you.
Yeah, that's it. That might be the next one or the one after it.
Oh, that's
It's
this
like
game.
it is. Yeah, I think this is the one where she. Oh yeah, your parents are dead, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, here it is.
Here it is.
Surprise in 3, 2, 1. I made it all up. Surprise.
Where'd you get confetti from?
So
That's the
Uh,
good confetti too.
That's the good confetti. Yeah, exactly.
I very seriously doubt they'd even want to see you.
Maybe it was left in storage from the take your kid to work day.
Oh yeah, the inciting incident of the Portal franchise. Yeah.
Yeah.
When was
And
that?
Chell was one of the kids.
Yeah. When was that? Like, what was it? Like, during in the '80s facility or the '90s? No, '70s or '80s. One of the two. Where we
Might have been
see
the 80s.
where we see the take your daughter to work day science fair. I think. What was it?
Yeah, and Chell was the one that made the. Hers was the potato one. Yeah.
Potato that powers the whole facility.
Yep.
Which
That
is,
was Chell's.
At this point, you cannot tell me that's not what it is, though. And I forgot that damn button over there. You can't tell me that's not what it is, though. That's pretty much what it is.
that's the joke. A Valve game will run on a potato.
Yeah. that case, it's like the implication is that that is the potato. Since Aperture technology can run on the equivalent of a potato in universe, it's like the implication is that that giant ass potato is powering the whole damn facility at once.
Oh, that's right, because it's like still kind of like growing too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Come
Is
over
that
here.
what all the roots hidden behind the panels are?
That's the idea. Yes. Where did that cube? Ah. Yeah.
That's more than a little ridiculous, but you gotta love it all the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure like that's what. Yeah, the whole. I'm pretty sure the whole intention between Portal
Oh,
and
no, this
TF2
one.
was. Oh, let's listen to this one.
Yeah, that where she calls up the dead parents.
The birth parents you are trying to reach do not love you. Please hang on.
Oh, sad. But impressive. Maybe they worked at the phone company.
That's the kind of comedy that doesn't get old. That's what I was saying earlier.
It's so
Yep.
mean.
It's so mean, but it's so hilarious. That's the point.
I like that cynical, mean-spirited humor. Hello, Wheatley.
The old nanobot work crew rebuilding the shaft. They are really so, I know, Jerry. No, I'm on a break, mate.
How's GLaDOS not finding him again?
Just hang in there for 5 more.
I think she's just ignoring him at this point.
Yes, Jerry. Or maybe your prejudiced work site.
That would seem to be the more logical explanation, given what we learn about him later.
Anyway, look, just hang in there for 5 more chambers.
5 more chambers, you say?
Well,
I was surprised how long this game is.
Comedy equals tragedy plus time. And you have been asleep for a while. So I guess it's actually pretty funny when you do the math.
GLaDOS really has a hard
this
ass those
room.
panels. Yeah. Oop. They can definitely maintain the complexity in some of these puzzles. Even early on, there's they really put you to the test if you don't know what you're doing.
I think the biggest challenge of these puzzles comes from overthinking it, though.
Yeah.
I think many of them you just do by walk forward, do the obvious.
Yeah.
You don't even have to think about the level. And the really cool ones are those where you have to do that. And if they cramp the game too full of those harder puzzles, that gets too many people frustrated.
Yeah.
So you have these bigger, more complex rooms are basically mini bosses, if you will.
Yeah, pretty much. Wait a minute. Oh, there's right there.
I kind of like this room because one half of it is cleaned up and the other is still messy.
Yeah, they make it abundantly clear through that visual transition. Yeah, it's like once GLaDOS has full control, full manipulation over the facility again. Yeah, it's like it's gonna happen.
Like she's working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Oh no.
I thought about our dilemma, and I came up with a solution that I honestly think works out best for one of both of us.
Ah, yes, one of both of us. I wonder which one she's talking about.
Federal regulations require me to warn you that this next test chamber is looking pretty good.
Yes, it is.
That's right. The facility is completely operational again.
It looks better than some people's apartments.
Yeah. Ah.
Damn.
Trying to avoid the laser going back.
Can't you just go around that pillar?
Look even better than they did before. It was
I want it to be
easy.
flashy.
That's for
You just
noobs.
have to look at things
Yes.
objectively, see what you don't need anymore, and trim out.
And actually, that's one of the rooms that was specifically designed to show the new dynamic music for every step of the way for the puzzles. It's like every little thing you do is like adds more to the music until you actually solve it.
This next test.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Tragic surprise.
Yeah, because the way you're supposed to do it is like the way you're supposed to do it is set up the two portals and then put them one at a time on. Put the lasers one at a time through the portal onto the receptors.
Good stuff. Our last bag. Part of me's going to miss it, but at the end of the day, it was just taking up space.
Oh, and in case anyone wonders, I'm not hearing the game because if I do that, then I can't hear the people anymore because my brain's scratched.
Okay.
I know I'm early, but we have to
Can't
go,
concentrate
right?
enough.
Look, Metal Ball, I can hear you.
Run! 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 Come on, I'm closing the door. Okay, quick recap. We are escaping.
It's like, you know, like, has she been? She's probably been able to hear him the whole time.
Quick word about the future plans that I've got in store.
How would Wheatley escape?
Production line, all right, turn off
I take him with me.
and then confront.
I grab him with the gun.
For the moment, run!
Which, even the portal gun itself was an excuse to use Half-Life 2 assets because you can clearly tell it's mostly based off of the general aesthetic of the gravity gun,
Yeah.
in terms of grabbing stuff. And you can actually solve that. You can actually go through there. It's an
I know it
achievement.
kills you.
Yeah.
There's a heart on the wall.
I think it's a room full of neurotoxin.
Yeah, it gets flooded with a big burst of neurotoxin and you die instantly.
And then Wheatley insults you.
Again, I'll say it again. And the game leaves it up to you, either to go straight forward or just screw around.
It's part of the joke.
Not just part of the joke with Portal specifically, part of the freedom that most Source Engine games give you from the get-go.
You know what? Back in the day, when games like these were made, lots of them did this.
Yes.
Half-Life set a new bar, okay. But that was what video games were like. I mean, technically, this is also just a very, very long straight tunnel.
Yes.
But it's made in a way that it doesn't feel like that. That is not that obvious.
Valve was one of those companies that made the absolute best of it, as we can say.
That's why I praise Lands of Law. Lands of Law 2. I keep forgetting what it's called in English. So much, because it does this as well. Like, it also gives you some options into which dungeon to go into. There are some optional ones, but technically, it's a big long tunnel. Go from one part to the next. Go from one part to the next. Go to the next part.
Yep, go from A to B.
Yeah, but depending on which, you can choose what you do and what you don't.
Yeah.
On the way. And
The first Bioshock game, anyway, is like that. In fact, you can see that it even took a lot of inspiration from Half-Life, given the opening Atlas will tell you, would you kindly pick up a crowbar or something?
Hello.
Yeah, it didn't feel like that. To me.
It's like, I guess, how it blends the narrative with the gameplay. Like, there's very few moments. There's only 2 instances I can think of that take control away from the player, and one of them actually serves a narrative purpose.
Yeah, but Bioshock fell very on rails to me. It didn't feel open. But maybe that's just a personal thing.
I've got an idea, but it is bloody dangerous.
Great game, though.
I know Infinite was very on rails and linear.
Yeah.
I haven't played that one.
It's good.
I only
though.
I only played the first one.
Everything. I mean, I don't even know why they bothered giving me this stuff if they didn't want me to use it. It's pointless. Man.
The first one, I like the fact that it gives you your objective, and it's up to you to figure out what you're supposed to do. Like in the first Half-Life, go do this, but I'm not going to tell you how to do it.
Entire staff of robots
Yeah.
Of them robots.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
You could still hear the screams of their replicas, all of them functionally indistinguishable from the originals. No memory of the incident.
Nice use
Nobody
of
knows what
creepy
they saw.
lighting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Though obviously not paranormal in any meaningful way. Okay, this looks dangerous.
Can you imagine
Hold the
working
lights
in
steady.
this place?
Oh, nicely done.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's less of an OSHA nightmare than the Black Mesa facility.
Well,
Because this is a conveyor belt. This is a conveyor line. With Black Mesa, there were actual maintenance tracks
Here's an interesting story. You might like this.
where you just did not have
In
friggin'
manufacturing, but guess who the
handrails.
Only an
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, these are places
Like now.
ended up giving me the
Yeah.
worst possible job.
and this is a place where you're supposed to walk through as a normal person,
Sorry, that's
with all the stuff flowing about.
just
Yep.
the humans. Sorry about that.
When they
Plus,
were
this-
the
this
friggin' turret
facility's
assembly
been-
line, they were carving them out of the metal, but it looked like they were on like those model building runners. Like you get in model kits.
alright,
Yeah.
Wheatley, I'm way ahead of you.
Yeah, plus this facility's been like, you know, in disarray for like years, like a really long time.
Oh, looky.
Is he also filling him with... He didn't fill him with bullets.
I think that. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Where are the bullets?
Maybe that's before the assembly here. I don't know.
No. Fraud.
I mean, there is such a thing as false advertising.
Down the back way. Be careful.
Yeah,
Johnson
we're
would
looking at.
never do that.
Oh, sure he wouldn't.
I was thinking more along the lines of EA.
Oh well, then again, I'm pretty sure compared to EA, Cave Johnson is on a whole other level.
Yeah, that's just their opportunity to make an EA joke.
Yeah.
But that's
Turret redemption.
Naughty Dog.
Please do not engage with turrets.
Ah, yes, the AI voice is back.
Turret redemption lines are not rides. Please exit the turret redemption line.
Yes. Oh, and this little guy.
Yeah, there's an opportunity for an achievement. No hard feelings.
Another achievement. This guy. Yeah, he actually also has a couple lines that foreshadow the end of the game. I think.
Mad.
Let me see if I can.
Don't make
Don't make
lemonade.
lemonade.
Let me see if I can get the line I'm looking for.
Do you have to do something specific?
Yeah, well, actually, the line I got the line. The line was pretty much giving the basic gist of the story of Prometheus, which is pretty much which pretty much also applies to the story of Cave Johnson as well. I mean that's what it's meant to do, but I'm just like, eh.
I'd call it a stretch.
I mean, it's
That's
Aperture.
That's definitely a stretch, considering with Prometheus, he was chained to a rock and is doomed to have ravens eat his liver every day for all eternity.
By the way,
Well, Cave Johnson got cancer. That's pretty much that.
well, by the
I
way,
guess.
you know how the regular turrets are voiced by Elle McLean, just like GLaDOS?
Yeah.
The defective turrets are voiced by Nolan North.
You know, I can actually hear it now.
Nathan Drake himself. Not only him, but also the 3 corrupt cores later in the final boss fight.
Very well. See that scan
Nice.
right there, right? It's deciding which turrets to keep and which to toss, and it's using that master turret
how
there
is-
as a template. So if we pull out the
mean, okay,
template turret,
uh,
shut down the whole production line.
Oh,
Right. I'm gonna have to hack the door so that we can get
hack the door.
The horrible thing is there are similarities between Prometheus' story and Cave Johnson. This is horrible. It's horrible. Because I wanted to say, yeah, but Prometheus, he wanted to
Oh, it hasn't done it.
He wanted to be a friend to humanity, bring them fire so that they could be enlightened. And Cave Johnson did want to bring technology to move humanity further. So there is that.
That's brilliant.
New template accepted.
If we're lucky, she won't find out all her turrets.
Well, I guess the parallel is mainly the fact that because of that is the final experiment that Aperture did while he was there was the moon rocks thing. The thing that
Turns
killed
out-
him.
Yeah, it turns out ground up moon rocks are pure poison.
And I am deathly ill.
How'd you get so many moon rocks anyway?
That's a good question.
Well,
Well, that was
those must be
Yeah.
metric tons.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, around the time.
Megatons.
Well, again, around the time of the 90s, both Aperture and Black Mesa, but especially Aperture, were ahead of the curve in terms of overall technological advancement. So the idea
but
is that they straight up
to
went
get-
to the moon to get that rock.
Yeah, but that's not
Yeah, but
a
he
rock.
says he
That's
bots the
megatons.
rocks.
That's
Yeah.
megatons of rocks. And
Yeah,
that
he
is
mentioned-
the thing.
Yeah,
So
Dave
if we
Johnson
look at the
mentioned that he bought the moon rocks.
yeah, but if we go to if we look at the other side of the moon, like not the one we see, if we look at the other side of the moon, are there giant cubes of moon carved out of that?
Here it is.
The whole place is probably overrun with potatoes at this point, isn't it?
Oh, super potato.
I think her name is on the board, too. Like Chell.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is
Yeah.
in the corner. Chell.
She made this thing, and the joke with this thing, again, like I said earlier, the joke is that this potato is powering Aperture to this day. Because of how good it was. It's like, because all
Chell doomed herself.
Chell doomed Aperture, essentially.
She's the cause.
Yeah, and everyone else was doing, like, potato shit, and then the one person here, baking soda volcano, and then the other one actually doing, like, what I call a flux capacitor with the damn thing.
Yeah.
All over it, hasn't it? I'm not saying they're not as good as the professionals, you know, they're just a lot dumber.
Ouch, Wheatley, that's a
one
bit
of the
harsh.
one of the little details I like later on is when you're listening to one of Cave Johnson's recordings.
Yeah.
And of course it's pretty obvious, you know, early on, but like his assistant Catherine, like in the recording he says goodbye, Catherine, and you hear GLaDOS say goodbye at the same time.
Caroline.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
Caroline. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like such a cool little detail that they both say goodbye at the same time, so you know that
was
they're the
tugging
same
heartstrings.
person. They don't tell you like, "Hey, GLaDOS is Carolyn."
She's not directly telling
they
you,
let
but
you piece it together.
Well, right. But I'm saying
Yeah,
like they give you a little bit of information and then they just play it instead of just saying GLaDOS is Carolyn.
And all that from
They
the
don't
fact
say
that, and all that from the fact that they were originally going to make a new character specifically for that, you know, parallel between old and new Aperture, but then they just decided, hey, why not just use GLaDOS and actually give her a backstory? And they did.
Okay, well, technically they do tell you, but later, toward the end, you've told me where Carolyn lives inside my brain. Carolyn, deleted.
Yeah, that was kind of funny and dark.
but she didn't do it. She just said she did.
Give me that.
Oh, by the way, there's a sign in.
No, don't worry, alright?
There were.
Oh, wait.
And yeah, and Inventive Implosion. Look directly at Implosion. They did that was actually there for the game testers because people testing the game, they just solved the puzzle and moved on. They didn't watch the animation.
So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Hold on, something's wrong. Neurotoxin, that did it. Neurotoxin at 0%. Yes. Hold on.
Warning. Neurotoxin pressure has reached dangerously unlethal levels.
On lethal levels.
Yeah, it's literally imploding in on itself. Oh, my dear lord. Look at all the confetti coming into the thing.
Ride it straight to her. I can't hold on.
Ah, that's where that came from.
From this room, yes.
Yep. She did say she had like one bag left.
That was the whole bag going up in smoke. The last bag of confetti was right next to the neurotoxin generator.
I can't believe I'm finally doing this. Woo! I knew this
All,
would be
all the
fun.
tubes, all the...
Wasn't fun at all until they said it's not
Another big set piece of the game.
believed them. I don't know how to afford to
Yeah.
myself. Oh, I'm loving
To show you the insanity of this place.
Yeah.
At the when you get back up from below, and you're beneath the lowest level cubes.
years ago, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt the weight.
See the look on her face.
We all did, honestly.
No turret. She'll never know what hit
You
Like,
know,
it
I
was-
just thought of something. At the end of the game, how does Wheatley get the neurotoxin pump running again?
I've thought this next part complete.
Probably some backup.
Bye.
in the facility.
Get to her! I'll find you!
He's not wrong.
I'm gonna look up who's doing Wheatley.
Stephen Merchant.
Okay.
And also, it's like funny how like if you know what you're doing, you pretty much confront GLaDOS in this game in just about the same amount of time it would take a person in Portal 1 to get to her. Knowing all the solutions.
That's interesting.
Egg dispensary.
Yeah, the game, if you Portal 1, if you know what you're doing, it's like less than an.
I love
Yeah.
how she's saying, you know, I didn't even really think you were gonna fall for that.
Further ahead for when you got through this easy one. If I'd known you let yourself get captured.
I wonder if there actually is another way to solve this room if you can't.
From the ceiling.
Oh no.
It was nice
The toilet.
catching up. Let's get to
No.
business.
No. No.
Puzzle. Oh, never mind. Hello.
Now, the new and improved GLaDOS.
Become the immediate past president of the Being Alive Club. Uh-huh. Seriously though. Goodbye. It's my big chance.
That they're not finished.
Just a box.
Oh, you were busy back there. Well, I suppose we could just sit in this room and glare at each other until somebody drops dead.
Don't worry, I've got all night.
It's your old friend, deadly neurotoxin. If I were you, I'd take a deep breath and hold it.
Ah! The glass is deadlier.
I hate you so
Oh no.
much.
I hate you so much.
That's funny. I don't feel corrupt. In fact, I feel pretty good.
Alternate core detected.
Oh, that's me they're talking about.
To initiate a core transfer, please deposit substitute core in receptacle.
Core transfer. Oh,
Substitute core accepted. Substitute core, are you ready to start the procedure?
Yes.
Corrupted core, are you ready to start the procedure?
no.
Oh, yes, she is.
No, 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 no.
Stalemate detected. Transfer procedure cannot continue.
Yes.
Pull me out, pull me
Unless a
out.
stalemate associate is present to press the stalemate resolution button.
Pull me out, leave me in, leave me in.
Yeah, I'm curious. What happens if you go back to GLaDOS?
Think about this. You need to be a trained stalemate associate to press that button. You're unqualified.
If it means screwing you over, I'll do it.
Stalemate resolved.
This part's actually kind of terrifying. The scream she makes.
Just
Yeah.
from the performance,
It's terrifying. Yeah.
Like,
I'd say both of them.
I love Wheatley.
Believe me, it will.
Yeah, right here.
You're just saying that, or is it really gonna hurt? You're just saying that, aren't you? You're just no, you're not. It is gonna hurt, isn't it?
No, stop, no, no, no,
Who busted out the synth?
No, there's actually something really funny about this.
We did it.
I'm gonna bring it up when it happens.
Facility now. Whoa! Would you look at this? Not too bad, eh? Giant robot, massive. It's not just me, right? I am bloody massive, aren't I? Oh, right, yeah, the escape lift. I'll call it now. There we go. Lift called. Look how small you are down there. I could barely see you. Very tiny and insignificant. Let me tell you, I knew it was going to be cool to be in charge of everything. But, wow, this is cool.
More confetti.
And check this out.
More Source Engine extravaganza.
Okay, that line he says in Spanish.
I don't even know what I just said, but I can find out.
You are using
That roughly translates to, you are using this program incorrectly. Please consult your user manual.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And now, of course, the big twist.
Mad with power immediately.
Yep.
Actually, why do we have to leave right now? Do you have any idea how good this feels? I did this. Tiny little Wheatley did this.
And part.
Didn't do anything. She did all the work.
Oh, really? That's what the two of you think, is it?
I haven't said a damn
I
thing.
did something then.
Remember, Wheatley is an idiot.
Designed to be an idiot.
I don't think I'm not onto you too, lady. You know what you are? Selfish. I've done nothing but sacrifice to get us here. And what have you sacrificed?
But the reality of it is, yes, it's true. Shell did all the work.
Yes.
You know, I wonder if the reason Shell isn't mute is because she's not brain damaged.
No, she's mute because she doesn't want to give any like GLaDOS and Wheatley and shit the satisfaction of a response.
Okay, but what if the reason that she can't talk is the fact that she's actually been in stasis too long and is actually brain damaged?
Could be. I mean, I've heard people come up with theories as to why Gordon Freeman doesn't talk, like, you know, like he's mute or selective mute, or I think we're reading like one story, like, again, this was like a fan fiction where like a barnacle like crushed his larynx. That's why he can't talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's never directly explained like in any game or any main media whatsoever. At least with Chell, they straight up say, yeah, no chance in hell she's gonna give GLaDOS the satisfaction of a response.
That makes sense.
Oh man, I completely forgot this conversation.
Yes!
Wheatley is actual cancer.
He was
cancer.
He was designed to be, yes.
He's designer cancer.
So if he's an idiot by design and acts like an idiot, doesn't that mean he's technically a genius because he's functioning properly?
No, that doesn't mean he's a genius. It just means he's functioning as intended.
That's a paradox in and of itself.
That's what I was getting at.
That means he is properly competent at
There's
being an
the
idiot.
slow clap.
Yay.
I love that.
Since it doesn't look like we're going anywhere, well, we are going somewhere, alarmingly fast actually. But since we're not busy other than that, here's a couple of facts. He's not just a regular moron. He's the product of the greatest minds of a generation, working together with the express purpose of building the dumbest moron who ever lived. And you just put him in charge of the entire facility.
That is a beautiful story.
Yeah. which also like ties back into Portal 1 where they explain basically the same idea there too, and they just add Wheatley on top of that.
Like she had to have detached him herself later or earlier.
At some point, yeah.
Ow!
Yes. Ow.
Beautiful terminal velocity.
Yes.
And just
Again,
like a cat, she always lands on her feet.
Long fall boots.
Yep. I think they say in the instructional video for the boots, they say like you always land on your feet if you're wearing them. Like it's impossible for you to land anywhere else but on your
told this
feet.
test subject just to try and land on her head. Couldn't do it.
That was the bird. I never noticed that you actually see the bird taking GLaDOS away.
It's the exact same bird.
Yep.
Yeah. It's always the same bird, of course.
Yeah,
And that means it travels damn fast.
the attention to detail, yes.
Like, how fast does this bird get around this facility?
I don't know. maybe
How is it still alive down there? There must be food and water for it. And there must be an opening access somewhere in the facility for birds to come and go as they please.
I don't know. Maybe that bird is like the equivalent of Laserbeak from Transformers, where it's just it goes so fast.
You know, there's one issue here that I have. All these big lamps, they're still working. Nobody had to ever change them. They never burned out. A few did, okay, but most of them didn't. I feel scammed with the stuff I have here at home.
It's clearly the mega potato. It's that energy efficient.
I mean,
that or that's just
don't
back
burn
when light
out.
bulbs were worth a shit.
Yeah.
Well, if we make the light bulbs not breaking, then nobody's ever gonna buy them once enough light bulbs have been solved. That's a bad business model.
Something kind of fun detail. There's a light switch that's actually illegal because it uses mercury to connect the circuit for off and on.
Ooh.
So it never wears out. It will literally last forever.
Wow.
And I actually have one on my wall behind me. It is completely. It was. I marketed as a silent light switch for like a nursery. But
more mercury in the nursery.
Yeah, mercury, health hazards. But that's a neat. I mean, it's encased, it's enclosed, it's sealed tight. The only reason it's gonna break open and leak toxic mercury everywhere is if you're jacking with it.
It's like any thermometer.
Oh, I remember this gag. I remember this gag, like the huge door.
Up there so I can see it from the front.
That's just kind of neat. Like, I always thought the light switch was quiet just because it was old as shit and worn out. But no, it's just one of those quiet ones.
Is it any surprise that literally one of the review quotes for this game features the biggest door in games ever?
That is
the
one
weight of
big.
that.
That is one big door.
And here's the punchline.
Nice.
It's just for show.
But it's this thing. I was scared to walk under that.
Like under the biggest door.
They made it feel really heavy.
Yes.
And it's just dangling there in the air.
Don't go in the water, because apparently there's alligators or something.
You see, if there are alligators, then the bird has water.
Well, now that you mention it.
It just kills you.
Yes. At least there isn't anything like the what was it, the ichthyosaurs from Half-Life that are specifically aquatic. Not even that. It's just water kills you instantly.
I guess the idea is it's polluted, or maybe Shell just doesn't know how to swim.
I mean, look at it. It's straight up. It's brown. Of course, it's polluted.
Look, if you have the long fall boots on, that makes sure that you always land on your feet.
Yeah.
They're probably very heavy.
Huh.
Would imagine so.
Also, look at this thing. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
The testing sphere. Before the test chambers of modern Aperture, first came the testing spheres. And now to introduce one of the greatest characters in video games ever.
Aperture Science. Astronauts, war heroes, Olympians, you're here because we want the best. And you are it. So, who is ready to make some science?
I am.
Now, you already met one another on the limo ride over, so let me introduce myself. I'm Cave Johnson.
Played by J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
Is the lovely Caroline, my assistant. Rest assured, she has transferred your honorarium to the charitable organization of your choice. Isn't that right, Caroline?
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson.
She's the backbone of this facility. Pretty as a postcard, too. Sorry, fellas. She's married. To science.
Awesome.
I like how Cave Johnson is like super endearing toward his secretary.
And here he is. Pretty much just young J.K. Simmons, pretty much, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is just a picture of J.K. Simmons in his youth.
And yes, best new science company in 47. And here it is right here.
Oh, a potato. There's a potato in the trophy case. The trophy is one of the trophies is a potato.
Potato trophy, yeah. And the Up Pioneer Press, local entrepreneur by Salt Mine. And that's where Aperture, and that's where we are. Yes, Aperture started at. This is the very absolute bottom of that salt mine. That's where Cave started.
Rock bottom.
Literally rock bottom, exactly.
Was that an ashtray?
Actually, I think it is. Look at it.
Right no, because it's the 50s, so everybody's smoking all the time.
Yeah, 50s, 60s, more or less. I think it is.
Even into the 80s.
Basically,
even the news reporter on the evening news on television is smoking.
Yep. Now this is a very.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind a cigar tonight. Actually, might have me one with a glass of scotch.
Now there is a bit of an inconsistency that. Okay, I set the portal in the wrong spot. Yeah, I didn't move the blue one. Supposed to build a blue one over here.
You have to put it higher?
Yeah, over there. To launch myself over to there. But I was going to say, a little inconsistency that people ultimately forgive the game for is like the fact that the portal gun wasn't an invention right out of the outset of Aperture's creation. I think it's like around like at least the 70s era of the company that the portal gun was an actual thing.
And I think early models of the portal gun had like a giant backpack, bad power source.
Yeah, kind of similar to, if you remember the glue-on gun from Half-Life, kind of like that.
Yeah. I remember when playing the game, they showed pictures of an early model portal gun.
Yeah, and I think there was one concept that was used for a Portal 2 mod called Portal Mel Stories, I think, which is
Portal
the
Stories Mel.
Portal Stories Mel. Thank you. Like that.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that at some point, but not while we're in the middle of the story.
No, yeah, no. Go ahead.
Portal Stories Mel is a standalone fan-made story continuation of the thing of Portal 2.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is, they wrote lines for Cave Johnson, and
The control group, by the way. You get the gel. Last poor son of a gun got blue paint.
Wow, even Cave Johnson's a little sadistic.
yeah,
it's like For
Portal Stories Mel, Mel is the core that is your Wheatley in the game, and and I got an announcer who basically voices Cave Johnson, and he makes an astounding Cave Johnson impression. Sounds a tiny bit different if you know what to listen for, but he's pretty much on point. And they wrote really good text for him too.
Well, ultimately, the fact that he's not one-to-one is to the benefit of the story of Mel, because it is just Mel doing an impression. So it's still, even on that meta level, it still makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's a very great little fan-made thing.
Yeah.
And amazing puzzles. And I recommend everyone who liked Portal 2 to play Portal Stories Mel. And as far as I'm aware, Valve officially endorsed it.
Yeah.
It's a mod for Portal 2, is it, or is it?
It's a standalone thing. If you have Steam, you can just look for Portal Stories Mel and install it.
You do have to own. Well, you do have to own Portal 2, but aside from that, yeah.
I mean, that's not that big. That's why I was asking if it was just a mod for Portal 2. I know Portal has a dedicated modding community.
Yeah, just the source and the Valve community in general, because of how, not flexible. It's like how much potential the Source Engine has for modding. That was the entire point.
Hush phone.
Like here we get the first of the gels.
So the blue and the orange is not cancerous?
No, as far as I'm aware, it's not. Which is also to tie specifically into. I didn't put the other portal. Yep. Get me back up there so I can use the momentum. I'm stubborn like that. Yeah. Yeah, the only one they straight up say is cancerous is the moon rocks, the portal gel.
I think that's just ground up.
It's a lively one, and it does not like human milk. It's like the dynamic of going from one announcer voice to the other is like it's pretty well balanced. Like you get the fully automated voice in immediately as you start, then you get GLaDOS back, and GLaDOS speaks for herself. And now you get Cave Johnson way down here, and it's like the comedy never stops.
Good news is the lab boys say the symptoms of asbestos poisoning show a median latency of 44.6 years. So if you're 30 or older, you're laughing. Worst case scenario, you miss out on a few rounds of canasta. Plus, you forwarded the cause of science by 3 centuries. I punch those numbers into my calculator, it makes a happy face. I like your style. You make up your own rules. bean counter said I couldn't fire a man just for being in a wheelchair. Did it anyway. Ramps are expensive.
So
Man is a
he's
savage.
so
Ramps
he's
are
so,
expensive.
so he's so it's a
I forgot about that line.
one right there. It's like, yeah, and again, like I mentioned before, like the gels originally came from Tag the Power Paint, and without a shadow of doubt, that basically is pretty much what Portal needed to like. Oh, I need to that one. Come on, go. Yeah, the gels were pretty much the best possible thing you could add to the formula of Portal. The two things complement each other pretty well.
It's very unconventional. It's not what I would have expected.
But it just works.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't just work. It works really damn well with the formula.
It's not directly puzzle mechanics.
Okay,
like,
so the copy
like
they
the laser
gave
cube.
all the test subjects is going to kill them.
Yes.
Yeah, and he mentioned earlier that if you were sitting on a metal chair in the lobby, you now have like tumors.
If you're part of control group Kepler 7, we implanted a tiny microchip about the size of a postcard into your skull.
Postcard.
During this next test, let us know, because that means it's about to hit 500 degrees, so we're going to need to go ahead and get that out of you pretty fast.
Couldn't be any worse. Couldn't be any worse than the Mantis Men he mentioned earlier.
Oh, the Mantis
Tiny
Men.
little microchip the size of a postcard.
Trace amounts of time travel. So, word of advice, if you meet yourself on the testing track, don't make eye contact. Lab boys tell me that'll wipe out time.
Wait, is that where the Portal 2 mod about time travel comes from that line of dialogue?
My best guess is that yes, it does come from that one line. I would say so, yeah.
That's a good reason to stop those tests.
Yeah, yeah. Think.
Well, it's also a pretty good indication that nobody looked at themselves when they time traveled.
Yes.
Because he said it would stop time, so nobody looked at themselves.
Yes.
Unless that's just a theory, and I don't know.
Let's just go with it. Let's just go with it. If you look at yourself, it would erase time. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
It's funnier.
Yeah.
It's that
look, Cave Johnson himself is not a scientist. He's a businessman.
Yeah, if Cave Johnson said
if
it, it must be true.
Yeah, but if he says it stops time, that can mean various things. It can mean it stops time. It can mean it erases time.
Yeah.
Listen, the guy that made exploding lemons says it might stop time.
Oh, this in itself is another achievement where you gotta catch this bouncing box, but without it hitting the ground first. It is hard as hell. I think this is the first time people knew you could still manual save in Portal 2, and I did it on the first try.
Nice.
All right.
Yes, I like your gumption, Cave. Too bad it ended up killing you.
Literally.
Literally.
Wait, so is that where the neurotoxin comes from? Ground up moonrock?
No, that's a separate thing from the neurotoxin.
Well, actually, now that I remember, yeah, Cave Johnson is technically alive.
Well, if
you play the desk job game.
Well, I thought you were.
Is he on one of these cores?
No, they put him in a giant. They put him in a computer, and they put that computer into a giant metal head of Cave Johnson.
Ooh.
So yes, he's technically alive. And then he immediately asks you to kill him because he doesn't want to live like that.
Is it actually J.K. Simmons? Did they bring him back?
Yes.
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, it is J.K. Simmons.
Yes, that would make it worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but what I was going to say, I thought you were going to mention Lego Dimensions.
Oh no.
They brought him back for that too. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. They brought back Steven. Yeah, they brought back all three of them. They brought back Stephen Merchant, Ellen McLean, and J.K. Simmons. All
I was
for
looking up Ellen McLean's IMDb to see if she's done anything else after this.
Oh.
And it's just all GLaDOS on her resume on IMDb. It's all GLaDOS.
I mean, she did also do the voice of the Overwatch AI from Half-Life 2.
And she was also in the Pacific Rim movies as well too. She was the voice of Gypsy Danger, the AI.
Oh, really?
Yep. And she was in Cyberpunk 2077. She was one of the she was one of the rogue taxi cabs.
I need to play that. I picked it up on sale a while back.
And they actually do reference the cake is a lie and the testing in as one of the taxi cab that she is. She mentions it.
Meanwhile, more Jill. Oh.
Oh, we'll find Potato Girl. So what I was trying to mention before, the gel is an unexpected element to me. Cave, please.
Well, we're heading into the next era of Aperture. That's why it's playing. But yes,
I know why it's playing.
Oh, look! I can show this off too.
Black Mesa can eat my bankrupt.
Yeah, this is around the time where Black Mesa had beaten out Aperture for government funding, and also here it is, the dry dock of the Aurora Borealis.
Yep,
Oh,
and there's
never saw this
there's life ring right there.
The life preserver, yes.
Yep.
So that's where things tie in. That's cool. Black Mesa can bite my bankrupt.
My bankrupt ass, yes. And again, that ties directly into the line from episode 2 where they straight up say Black Mesa won out for government funding. It's like, and that line from Cave is like the immediate aftermath of that event.
Cave Johnson invented a portable wrist-mounted teleportation device, and he didn't get the government contract?
I mean, I'm pretty sure...
That should tell you what madness Black Mesa is creating.
Yeah, but their teleportation is far less advanced and doomed the world.
Well, it's directly based off of the Zen technology, and they're also Black Mesa got Aperture got their payback in the form of Black Mesa causing the resonance cascade.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's just.
Did Cave Johnson sabotage Black Mesa?
No, he was already dead by that point.
Yeah, Cave Johnson was long since dead. That was, I think, like around in the '90s era of Aperture, which was right before Half-Life 1.
Okay.
Cave had just died by the time of Half-Life 1.
But
Yep, and there it is, 1.1 volts of electricity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's the joke. She shorts herself out. That's all. That's
she can't handle it. Yep.
The potato can't. Yeah, the potato is giving her just enough.
I know that feeling.
But out of spite, would it not be possible for Cave Johnson to have acquired a corrupted Zen crystal and swapped it out with the one they're supposed to use before he kicked a bucket?
Well,
or
no.
Nothing else set it in motion?
Well, no. They do say at some point that it was the G-Man that switched them out.
It would have been hilarious if it was just Cave Johnson.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if even like the stuff that caused Aperture to go downhill was the G-Man's fault, just for the sake of organizing things for the Combine's arrival.
No, you know what? It'd be funny. It'd be funny if you accused the G-Man of it, and he's like, "Oh no, that wasn't me."
Oh no, that wasn't me. Everything else.
No, I'm saying like the G-Man would be like, "Oh no, you think it would be me, but it actually wasn't."
No, if Half-Life 3 ever happens, it's like have Alex, and you're the one that brought in the corrupted Zen crystal to the Black Mesa. The what? What? No,
or better yet, G-Man takes credit for it.
Like, oh yeah, the corrupted crystal was all according to my plans.
Yes.
What did that fucking idiot in the salt mine do?
Yeah, that's where he found the Zen crystal. He found it in the salt mine.
Oh my god!
It just popped into the mine. Just popped into the salt mine, yeah.
I mean, the Zen step has a tendency to randomly teleport, so why not?
There's like a recording of
what
like
if-
Cave Johnson, like the science boys tell me that this thing's putting out a lot of energy.
Like,
Maybe I could send it to those idiots at Black Mesa.
Pretty much.
Holy shit! What if the portal gun? I'm thinking too hard about potential theories now. I need to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
Because shit's clicking and it's like, oh my god.
It's all so confusing.
This is. I love this. The orange gel, the acceleration gel.
Whee!
Is so cartoonish and silly and
Yeah, it's some Wile E.
gamey
Coyote
and-
shit.
The orange gel is literally
because it makes sounds when you run fast. The faster you run on it.
yeah, and the gels. At least the first two gels add to the music. They add to the soundtrack. Oh, and also, and I was gonna say, the orange gel is literally just gotta go fast.
Yeah, GLaDOS has to keep a calm demeanor or she's gonna short circuit.
The plot thickens.
I know someone who looks just like Kate in that picture.
I think it's implied at one point in the game that Shell is the adoptive daughter of Cave Johnson.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
I thought it was Caroline's actual daughter.
Nah, no, I don't think so.
Like, it's just implications. I don't.
Yeah, it's
know
just
for a fact.
headcanon that could still kind of fit, but at the same time, it's still a bit of a stretch. Honestly, whatever.
Because wasn't also like one of the theories is that like Chell is like Ratman's daughter or something? Isn't that one of the theories as well?
I mean, that kind of makes a little bit more sense considering Ratman directly helps Chell make it to this point to beat GLaDOS.
Oh, great.
Hey, listen up down there. That thing's called an elevator. Not a
No.
Did they what? So when he's saying Olympian war hero athletes, did he really just get a bunch of crackheads to do his tests for him?
Well, in the first era, it was actual astronauts, war heroes, and Olympian athletes. Literally. In this era, it's just homeless people.
So in other words, yeah, it's actual crackheads.
Yeah, they get $50 or something.
Hey, $50? Yeah, $60 is $60.
It's a lot of money in that time.
Because I think this was the 70s by this point, wasn't it? Or
I
the
believe
60s?
so, yeah. I think 70s, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll feed you for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Or it'll buy a lot of crack.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say about the gels is that the game didn't add too many new logic puzzle elements like the laser thing, but instead it added something that changes what you do as the player for the player character. The jumping, it's still puzzles, yes, but it's jump and run puzzles over logic puzzles.
Yes.
And then it's combined.
More environmental puzzle solving.
Yeah, well, it combines both the logic and the jump and run puzzle.
Yeah.
And that is something that I had not expected this game would do, and that's what it pulls off so well.
It does it really well, yeah. Like if you didn't know that the gels were just from literally an entire separate tech demo altogether from the one that inspired Portal in the first place, it's like honestly all this still fits together. Ow.
No. This is one of those rooms that sometimes still frizzled me a little bit.
Yeah. Woo.
Not like entirely, but like, wait, there's this one part. Like, how did that go again? Because it's just that there's so many different, so far apart places. It's nice. No, when I played it, I I don't know why anymore, but the vibe I got was that, and this is a good thing about the storytelling, that it's not direct in your face, but that if Chell was the daughter of Caroline, it might explain why GLaDOS isn't very efficient at killing her, because subconsciously that's still working against GLaDOS. Because she doesn't actually want to kill her daughter.
Yep.
You need that explanation for why is the villain constantly failing.
Right. And she does care, because I think it's in the co-op game. She adopts like those baby birds, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah, and she cares for them. I mean, granted, she's like trying to train them to be killers, but you know, it does show that she cares.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
Literally, it's the classic example of that.
Dude, if I had kids, they'd be. I'd raise them to become super ninjas as well.
Yes.
Need to be at least 3 of them, and then they get their 4th friend from somewhere outside, and then they're the ninja musketeers. With their own D'Artagnan. This is amazing, glorious. I just need a woman. So if you're out there and you want ninja kids,
that's the only thing holding you back. It's a woman.
I'm afraid the only thing holding me back is something I can't change. Well, with enough money I can change, but you know.
In case you're interested, there's still some positions available for that bonus opportunity I mentioned earlier. Again, all you gotta do is let us disassemble you. Banging rocks together here, we know how to put a man back together. Complete reassembly, new vitals, spit shine on the old ones, plus we're scooping out tumors. Frankly, you ought to be paying us.
They can't cave, they're homeless.
Man, Buzz, we're scooping out tumors.
Frankly, you ought to be paying us.
You know that Cave seems to be a less intelligent but higher energy Elon Musk.
Thank you. I can't believe I'm thanking these people. Aperture Science's propulsion gel testing. You've made some real contributions to society for a change, and for that, humanity is grateful.
I mean, the blue and red gels don't cause cancer, but they're still not good for you.
Fair point.
$60 is an unprecedented windfall, so don't go spending it all on, I don't know, Carolyn, what do these people buy? Tattered hats?
Carolyn. Why do I know this woman? Did I kill her? Or... Oh my god. Look.
She figured it out.
Or is at least starting to figure it out.
Yeah, she has a pretty good idea at this point.
Like, I need to think about it. And then later, bird, kill it!
Yes,
Yeah, that was funny.
Now here's the cancerous gel. Which does not...
gel.
Well, the process of grinding it up causes cancer.
Yeah, the process of grinding it up. That's what they actually mean.
Oop.
Oh, so the processed stuff itself isn't cancerous anymore?
The process is, but once it's actually ground up into the gel, that's when it's safe. That's the intended answer.
Okay, there are some substances.
So
like
if you're gonna grind it up, wear some hazmat gear.
Exactly. And cave like an idiot.
Let the robots do it. They can't get cancer.
Actually,
Robot cancer.
Actually, to clear that up, the co-op robots were made after that. So just to
there it is.
Oh, yeah, the bird.
She's afraid of birds.
Awfully human for now.
Oh, here we are. He's gonna say it right now.
Welcome to the Enrichment Center. Since making test participation mandatory for all employees, the quality of our test subjects has risen dramatically. Employee retention, however, has not. As a result, you may have heard we're going to phase out human testing. There's still a few things left to wrap up, though. The bean counters told me we literally could not afford to buy $7 worth of moon rocks, much less 70 million. Bought them anyway. Ground them up, mixed them into a gel. And guess what? Ground up moon rocks are pure poison. I am deathly ill. Still, it turns out they're a great portal conductor. So now...
No, doesn't say the process. He says the ground up. The product itself is cancerous.
Oh, okay, fair point. Yeah.
Let's all stay positive.
Well, he also says, like, like jumping in through the portals is going to somehow cure him of the cancer.
Somehow take out the poison.
Somehow leach it out. I think it is the process, like grinding all the space material up is what caused, like inhaling it is what caused it.
Yeah. Needless to say, he still got it.
Yeah.
Maybe ground up is then the dust form, and the gel is another.
Yeah,
I would say the dust. I would say the dust is what they mean by
ground up moon rocks are pure poison.
Yeah, the dust from grinding it up so much. That's what I took away from it. But
yeah, because otherwise, Chell's gonna be riddled with cancer by the end of this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
I mean,
it
she
was
wins, but
basically
she still dies.
Space asbestos.
Yep.
Basically.
This room is just chill.
Yeah, it's just
do this nonsense for a while.
And again, it's like
Splatoon.
Again, this is like a tutorial without being a tutorial. They just let you loose with the portal gel.
Just like
Yeah,
let's
that's
play
a good
with
way
it.
to put it. This is actually designed as a passive tutorial.
Yes, literally.
Like, it's just like, okay, let's.
It's also letting you have fun too.
Yeah,
it's not holding your hand.
Especially since this gel is exclusive to this game, as opposed to the first two, which are from Tag the Power of Pain, which speak for themselves at that point.
And at this point,
I think this invention is.
You've already been you've already been playing with the gels, painting shit. You're just going to be it's going to be muscle memory at this point. Like, well, keep painting.
It's just applying it to a new substance. But I think it's a logical conclusion with the other two gels, because we had since the first game surfaces that you could put the portals on and surfaces that you couldn't, and the surfaces that you could had this paint on.
Oh my god, I love this.
Yep, here it comes.
Take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons. I'm gonna get my combustible lemons that burns your house down.
I remember the turret on the assembly line was quoting this.
Burn
his house down.
Intelligence and personality on one. So I have the engineers figuring that out now. Brain mapping, artificial intelligence. We should have been working on it 30 years ago. I will say this, and I'm going to say it on tape so everybody hears it 100 times a day. If I die before you people can pour me into a computer, I want Caroline to run this place. Now she'll argue. She'll say she can't. She's modest like that, but you make her. Yeah, put her in my computer. I don't care. All right, test's over. You can head on back to your desk.
And that's where you piece it together.
Yep, there it is. She says goodbye, sir.
Oh, apparently you can actually find it in the files. There's cut audio of them dumping her brain in the computer.
Oh my god.
And the reason they cut it is because it sounds like something else.
Oh.
What's it sound like?
It sounds like a sexual assault because of her line delivery. It's good line delivery. It's just because if it's heard out of context or somebody just wasn't fully paying attention and doesn't get the context, it can. Yeah, there's a reason there's probably a good reason they cut that one.
Doing that to someone certainly is that type of assault, and the German word for it is more universal. We know that the sexual thing is meant with that, but it basically, the German word for it is basically if you would silly translate it into English, would be a violencing or something like that.
Violating.
Violation?
No, not violation. It's the German word for it is Vergewaltigung. Gewalt is violence. If you put ver before a noun, you make it into a verb. So it is the the misapplication of violence.
Okay. So I think
But
actually I need to-
anytime somebody uses that word, the sexual form is meant, but technically it means everything. Because we also use that word for very unceremoniously taking apart a piece of technology.
So I was going to ask you real quick. I am half German. I can sort of read German. When they put the dots over vowel syllables, isn't that to emphasize the pronunciation of that vowel?
What? Dots over vowel? What?
An
You mean
umlaut.
umlaut?
For example, the word Jaeger is spelled Jagger, but it's Jaeger because the J acts as a Y in German.
Yes.
But in the word, the A has little dots over it. I don't know exactly what they're called.
Okay. So that is an umlaut. That is a different vowel. We have some extra vowels that are sometimes used for some words. It depends on how the word is made. The same sounds can be made with other in other ways too. But the vowels A, O, and U have umlaut forms. So the German A, O, and U are A, O, and U, and the umlaut form is Ä, Ö, and Ü.
Okay, I was just curious because while reading them, I thought those were to put emphasis on their pronunciation.
No. It's not nothing to
Like
do with
with
emphasis.
Jaeger
It's
or-
literally a different vowel.
Okay, because the word Waffen, which means weapon, does not use the umlaut variant.
Yes, because it's Waffen
It's a-
and not Weffen.
Right, I was just
no, that would be Waffen.
like I was just
That doesn't
curious.
even
I
work.
was just curious about that. If it's a different form or if it's just to put emphasis on pronunciation.
No, it's a different vowel.
Which
And
I mean, I
can-
guess it
if you-
does serve as that purpose, but I was just curious.
It doesn't
about
serve
that.
as that purpose. No, it is a different vowel.
Okay,
It's a
guys.
different letter. It's a completely different letter.
We've been doing this for
Bloody
about 2
Right.
hours.
I understand that now. It's just
We could technically go for another 3 and finish the game, but we're gonna.
We're almost through.
Yeah.
It's just the last part coming.
It's just the last parts, man.
I mean, you still have to deal. You still have to deal with Wheatley.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a top layer. This room. It's what I meant. Like we
And
talked
there's
all the
the
way
biggest
through it.
door in gaming opening up.
That is still literally the same size as the other one.
I know. Only without the funny gag of it just being for show.
I just love this room and when the big pipes connect. And why would you build it if you wanted to abandon stuff?
Maybe they had a plan to incorporate that gel into testing on the surface, well, closer to the surface level chambers, and just said screw it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, to finish that up, these extra vowels, they can, if people don't have it on their keyboards or the font doesn't have them in it, they can also be written as AE, OE, or UE, and it's the same thing.
Yeah, I was just curious about that.
Say the A with the dots above it, the A, is closer to the English A, if you will.
Right, that's kind of where my thought process was coming from.
We have very straight vowels, and the dots make it askew, if you can imagine it like that.
Yeah, that's kind of where my thought process was coming from. Like, I thought that was to emphasize pronunciation.
Stop using that word, it's wrong!
Oh, I did not realize I was muted. Sorry. Is it all right with you guys if we finish? Is it all right with you guys if we finish off with these 2 promos that we were talking about earlier?
Sure, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Cave Johnson here. Introducing the consumer version of our most popular military-grade product.
Hello.
The turret. How do we get so many bullets in them? Like this. Plus, we fire the whole bullet. That's 65% more bullet per bullet. This is the same technology we've been using on robots for decades. Scares the hell out of them. They come in hundreds of designer colors, including forest, desert, table, evening at the improv. What idiot picked them? Then we box them up and ship them straight to your
We saw that
doorstep,
earlier.
so you
Yeah.
can protect the things that matter most.
Good night.
Just try and get close to that baby. Your funeral.
No, I simply wouldn't want the turret there in the first place.
Yeah.
And now here's the boots, which is the other like thing that they decided to explain in universe.
Hello, investors. Cave Johnson here. Now, I know you've sunk a lot of money into the dual portal device, but I'm here to tell you we're not banging rocks together over here. We know how to make a quantum space hole. Carolyn, see? Portal here, portal there.
I like that it has a miniature black hole cooling fan.
Yeah.
We have run into a reproducible human error problem. A lot of expensive equipment getting broken. But don't
I
worry,
love how
we'll take
callous
care of it.
Cave Johnson
Gentlemen,
is.
I give you the long fall boot. Think of it as a foot-based suit of armor for the portal device. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's expensive as hell. But check this out. We told this
And
test
there's
subject
Chell.
to just go ahead and try to land on her head. She can't do it. Good work, Boots. So anyway,
That
we're
crushed
between
your
banks
knee.
right now. Just make those checks out to cash. Cave Johnson.
Yeah, well, all the cushioning is on the boot itself, so no, she should be fine. No, that's still bad. That is still
knee
bad
hit
for your
the
knee.
ground. If your knee hits
Yeah.
the ground like that, it's mush.
Yeah, that's bad for your knees.
Well, to summarize, it's like I think we can agree that Portal 2 definitely deserves the title of being one of the greatest games of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
It stands shoulder to shoulder alongside games like Mario 64, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy 7, Resident Evil 4, all those. It's like it has stood. This is one of those many games that has stood the test of time, and even its peers like Half-Life and Team Fortress, it stands shoulder to shoulder with all of them. And again, and I can't stress this enough, and I have been, the writing is that good where it does not get old in the least. You can hear the same lines from this game like 10 times in a row. You'll still laugh. Literally.
It's the delivery.
It's the delivery. It's so well written, it's well delivered. It's placed in just the right spots where you need it and ultimately want it because it's that good. And the gameplay itself is just, it's refined to its, at least right now, it's refined to its absolute peak. It's pretty much, you mess with any little thing, it's gonna pretty much destroy what people know. But they were able to put in the gels from that other tech demo, and that was able to complement the portals really well.
And that made this absolutely deadly place somehow cute.
Something I wanted to bring up earlier is the Portal 2 speedrunning community is completely insane with how they sequence break the game and get out of the boundaries to get into the boundaries of other test chambers.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
It reminds me very much of the Metroid Prime guys. Like they're doing different maneuvers or space jumps or all these what are they called? Bomb jumps. Like they do these combinations to break through.
The double bomb. In the case of Prime, it's the double bomb jump.
Yeah, it's the same idea, but yeah, they love doing that. They just go through the game like it's a puzzle.
Yeah, it's like that's one of the elements of Metroid that's so memorable, the sequence breaking. Like,
And the fact that you
yeah.
can't, and the fact you actually can sequence break. You don't need the weapon you find in that area to fight the boss. It helps, but you don't need it.
Yeah, Metroid, to bring up Metroid, one last point, is like Metroid is that kind of game where, yeah, there is a specific path that the developers intend, but you still also have that freedom to do certain things in the wrong order, however you want. Right. Whereas a Portal, just like the rest of the Valve catalog, you're in complete control the whole way through, and especially combining that with the Portal gameplay, it's a really good experience the whole way through.
All right, well that was pretty cool. I mean, just watching that was just fun to play. You obviously know all the maps, so it was really easy to to go through them fairly quickly. And yeah, no, you're going to be entertained. You're going to be entertained whether it's a puzzle or you're going to have fun listening to all the characters and figuring out how to pass a level. So there's lots out there. It's what is it? I thought it was a 5-hour game, but you went through like in 2 and a bit. So
You can take longer if you really take your time, listen to things, look at things, and
if you want to listen to the dialogue.
First time, first time doing the puzzles is very different.
Oh yeah,
if it's your first time or you haven't done it in a while, just trying to figure out the puzzles, particularly later where Wheatley fucks it up.
Yeah,
it can be really. Well, my problem with it is I overanalyzed it.
Like, if there's any game that I will definitively push for people to play completely blind the first time through, it is Portal 1 and 2, hands down.
Yeah. So for any reason you have off Portal 2 so far, get to it. It's not long, and it is one of those lifetime experiences that
you'll never forget.
Yeah,
They're also not
that you
expensive
would
games.
miss if you knew what you missed out on.
Yeah,
and to everyone else, Portal Stories Mel. Get it, play it, have fun.
Yeah. After Portal 1 and 2, Mel is absolutely yet another high recommendation. Play Portal Reloaded at your own risk.
Yeah,
that's all.
I think it used to be a lot cheaper. The orange box. There's always sales going on at.
As of this stream right now, Portal and Portal 2 are both $10
combined.
Just each, but you can get them. You can get the orange box bundle, which is Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2, Portal, and Team Fortress 2 for $19.
You know what? To this day, I'll still advocate that with the current orange box, they might as well just replace TF2 with Portal 2 because TF2 is free to play.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You just update the orange box to have Portal 2 instead, and there you go. You have the entire Valve experience right there on at your fingertips. And maybe Half-Life 1 if you want, but then again, that's what Black Mesa's for.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks guys for your time. That was kind of cool. I was mostly just listening half the time, but it's totally fine. We'll talk to you guys soon. Hopefully tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're doing tomorrow regarding Anime Day, but always accept recommendations from you guys and keep them coming into the Discord. So thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
It's a lie.
Bye. Night.
The cake is a lie. The cake is a lie. The cake is a lie.
The lie's a cake?
This sentence is false.
Yes.